The Israel-Hamas war entering a new chapter. More threats are surfacing, putting the U.S. on high alert. Just moments ago, U.S. officials announced a U.S. military base in Syria was attacked by drones. They say this follows other drone attacks over the past few days against the U.S. in Iraq. We're now also seeing alleged involvement from other countries. North Korea denies arming Hamas fighters with weapons, but reports show it was North Korean missiles that misfired, causing Tuesday's deadly hospital explosion. And the Department of Defense releasing new video of more than 180 intercepts of U.S. warplanes by Chinese aircraft over the past 2 years, with military officials calling this beyond concerning. So joining us now, retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. John, thank you so much for being with us. First of all, today the State Department is advising U.S. citizens overseas to exercise increased caution. Should all Americans be reconsidering any international travel right now?
Nichole, I think it's important to realize that, especially in the Middle East, but stemming from the Middle East through Iran, that Iran is seeking to create unrest or provide opportunities for their proxies to attack American targets. And it is wise, especially in that region, but around the world, for Americans to be vigilant as they travel overseas, realizing that some of those malign actors, like Iran, are looking to do harm to our interests.
And I do want to talk about Iran. First, I want to touch on those drone attacks. What was your reaction to learning about them, including this latest attack that we are learning about in Syria?
I was over as a senior defense official in Iraq for 14 months in 2020 and 2021 when Iran's proxies started using unmanned systems to attack American interests in the region. And frankly, for the last 44 years, Iran has created an arc of instability throughout the Middle East: Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Gaza. And they are finding ways to find pretexts to attack American interests, and ultimately creating instability in the Middle East that harms the population of the Middle East as much as it does American interests.
You know, and General, as you know, the president will be addressing the nation tonight. Do you think he will bring up Iran? Should he be talking about Iran?
I'm disappointed that the president thus far has not mentioned Iran in the 11 days since what is clearly an Iranian-supported attack by Hamas on Israel. I am very proud of the president for taking the time to demonstrate our unwavering support to Israel, both by his actions and by his words. But certainly we've got to realize that the malign actor that is the common denominator of problems in the region is Iran, and the president should say so.
And do you think we're going to continue to see these ramped up attacks outside of the U.S., targeting U.S. bases or equipment, whatever it happens to be?
Nichole, it's pretty clear that Iran loves finding opportunities to make excuses for attacks by their proxies. And it certainly is going to be the case as we go through the tumultuous times with Israel and Israel's ultimate self-defense against Hamas, that Iran is going to take advantage as much as they can of the situation.
And my last question for you, General, you know, we obviously have these examples of attempts to attack the U.S. abroad, but what about within our own borders? Because that potential is very real, you know, as sadly we know.
Nichole, it is very important for us to realize that unless we have strong borders, especially our southern border, which tends to be open in so many ways, creating multifaceted crises, that we do risk the national security threat of terrorists coming across our borders. We know that it's happening, and the president needs to make priority number one sealing our southern border.
Brigadier General Teichert, we certainly appreciate your expertise. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.